Hola chicos, hola chicas, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Bienvenidos a un nuevo vídeo, un vídeo especial. Hoy tenemos una entrevista con Carlos Navarro, que interpreta a Enrique en Hawkeye, uno de los miembros de la Tracksuit Mafia. Y bueno, la entrevista va a ser en inglés, pero tendré subtítulos para entenderlo todo. Hello Carlos, nice to meet you. How are you today?
Muy bien, bro. Muy bien, bro. A toda mi gente hispana por todo el mundo. What's up, bro?
Awesome. So you play, as I said, you play Enrique in Hawkeye.
Sí.
Is one of the members of the Tracksuit Mafia. But before talking about Hawkeye and Marvel stuff, I want to ask you, because you play Enrique on Hawkeye, you also play Álvaro on The Walking Dead and many other roles. So how was when was the moment when you decide you want to be an actor? Why did you become an actor?
Excuse me. Danny, I always wanted to do something in entertainment. I was always obsessed with Steven Spielberg as a kid. And it was always kind of from the directing side. And I just knew I wanted to be a part of the movies. I was living in Florida. I'm a little half cubano, peruano, chico, que mi mamá es de Cuba, mi papá de Perú, y yo soy un first generation American. And so I didn't have any contacts in the industry or anything like that, but I always loved it. And I love Steven Spielberg. So I was like, all right. So empecé, with little películas with my video camera, and I would be in it real young, 9, 10. And then kind of did TV production and did my little movies there. But it was always more with an idea of being a director. And it wasn't until like my 20s that an ex-girlfriend got me an acting class. And she was like, look, you need to do this. You need to do this. And I took the class, and I was kind of interested in it. And then it kind of just took off from there. I was like, wow, this is actually, I should have been doing this for a long time. And it all worked itself out. But yeah, that's, so I would say like in my early 20s.
Okay. So since you start your career as an actor, you play, well, as I said, Enrique on Hawkeye now, Álvaro on The Walking Dead. The Outsider is also another show. You play a lot of roles and characters. So maybe it's a hard question, but who was your favorite character that you ever played?
I'd have to say right now, probably Enrique. And I know it's like I'm in the midst of it right now, but everything connecting to it. So let's take that aside, because like I'm living it right now, I would say my other favorite role was probably Luis in Identity Thief. And for those who've never seen the movie, it's I played the cashier Luis, and it's kind of the beginning of Jason Bateman's misadventures. And I got to have fun and talk about my papi and throw in some fun stuff. And it was supposed to be an Indian cashier. But when I did my thing, they shifted it over to Hispanic, and I've always kind of been fortunate to play a lot of Hispanic roles, even though I may not quote unquote look like the most Hispanic guy. And I think Danny, you guys and hispanos saben esto mejor que no todos hispanos son darker skin or different. Yes. Hispanos se parecen de todo. If you go to Spain, you go to, y los americanos no saben eso. No saben, muchos no saben eso. Ellos creen que para ser hispano, que falta tener todo, darker features. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, luckily for me, I learned all the accents. Cubano, Mexicano, tú sabes, España, tú sabes, hablando. So I could practice and do it the right way. And so I feel like, I've never gotten to talk about this con mi gente. But it's something that I'm very proud of. Very, very proud of.
Okay. So, for example, and you play in other big movies or shows, and where the fandom are so big, like in the MCU. How's the difference between the MCU fandom to other fandoms, like, I don't know, The Walking Dead or the movies? Or
well, anything equal, they said in Walking Dead. Porque Walking Dead, when I was doing Walking Dead, it was the 7th and 8th season. That was the Glenn season. That was the Negan season. That was Kingdom. And I was one of the Knights of the Kingdom. And so that was pretty amazing. And that's definitely one of my favorite roles. And that was insane to see the fandom for that. But then you fast forward even, what is it, 5 years later, where we're at now. And what Marvel is at is even, I think, an even crazier peak. Because now it's TVs, it's movies, and I mean, by all accounts, so with Walking Dead, that season was a very pivotal season. And did you ever watch Walking Dead?
Yes, I watched like the first 5 seasons.
Yeah, so it was the big season when Glenn got killed, and it was an amazing. I loved it as a fan. I loved the whole series, but that changed. A lot of people were like hurt by that, and it was interesting to see because we came on the episode afterwards. And with Marvel right now, everybody is like, who's on the Marvel train, like really loves Marvel. Like you'll get your little dissenters, but it's a very positive, super supportive, super smart fandom that I'm a part of. Like I'm a fan going in. So, like I'm not, I'm not, there's a lot of actors. They don't know the whole Marvel world, and that's fine. That's fine. They respect it. They learn about it. But I know it. What I'm saying? Like, I know the movies. I know the TV shows. It makes it even that much more fun.
Okay. So, also, the last role you play until now is Enrique. But can you tell more about future projects that you gonna do in the next years? I don't know, Morgan.
Danny, the way it works with acting is very weird. There's a very few percentage of actors that know exactly what their next thing is going to be. Jeremy, your Haley's. As a everyday actor, like most of us are, you wait for the next audition. Do I have some things lined up and hoping for? Yeah, but you want to. It's really to be an actor, you got to always get back on the horse. It's always, until you reach a certain point, and of course there's different breaks along the way. But it's definitely a testament to perseverance because you got to really love it. And I've been fortunate that I've gotten on some really awesome shows and awesome projects. But even after Walking Dead, it was like, all right, well, what's next? You think it's like, hey, come here, Carlos, we got 16 shows for you lined up. But that's not how it works, but yeah, I think I hope there's more Marvel stuff in the future, but we don't know. It's a very kind of secret thing. You don't know. But I don't know. What do you think, Danny? You watched the show. Do you think there's more to the Tracksuit Mafia? There's more to, that whole world?
Yeah, we hope so. Because we, the fandom, love the Tracksuit Mafia, so we hope to see more of them and more of Enrique in the future.
I hope so.
And you talk about audition. So I want to ask you, how was your first contact with Marvel? It was like an audition, or how was that?
Wow. So I've probably auditioned for different Marvel projects. I'm trying to think here, honestly, maybe 4 or 5 times over my career, like different movies. And even one, I think it was AntMan. But I'm not sure because it was like things got delayed and there was like I was going to be some soldier, something like that. They're very secretive about everything. So you don't really know what you're kind of doing. So, of course, you always want to book a Marvel show. Like that's always in your back of your mind. And then this audition kind of came up. I was actually anticipating another show called Ozark. I was looking to be on that show. And I did this other audition. And the audition actually is if you watch the show, it's the scene with Tomas, and he's talking to Kate Bishop about Imagine Dragons. That was the audition, and he's like, hey, bro, And so we got the thing, and I'm reading it and being a Marvel. I'm like, I don't make sense of what this is. Like it didn't say Kate Bishop, it said Margarita Black. And it had like a different name. So I was like, I don't even know what this. So I just did a funny audition and actually just did the bro. Like I did the, hey, bro, man, she wants to go to Imagine Dragons, man. I didn't say bro because I didn't know there was bro, but I'm probably threw in a bro. And then didn't hear anything. And then I got a call. I was like, hey, man, you booked the part of Ricky and you're going to be going to New York. And I was like, all right. And then adventure began.
Well, that was awesome. And how, as you said, privacy in Marvel Studios is always so hard because they have a lot of secrets and secret projects and all this stuff. How is to when you're already working in the show, working with the privacy? For example, I don't know, in the Kingpin reveal, I don't know, how do you work with that?
Well, we're all given different bits and pieces of the show. Like if you're if, like from basically like Fra and Alakwa, and of course Jeremy, and they got the whole script because they needed the whole script. Like they're the main ones that are kind of carrying. They need to know. So, bro, I'm Enrique, bro. You know what I like to do? I like to gamble. I like to party. I like to eat pizza. I chase Kate Bishop, bro. I don't need to know all that. And they were always continuously working on stuff. It's a massive beast. So as far as Kingpin, I only knew that through talking with other castmates. And I got the scripts. I read through the scripts, but it said the big bad guy. Nowhere did it ever say, Kingpin.
No name.
But being a massive Vincent D'Onofrio fan, like that to me is one of the acting gods to me. And knowing his history with Daredevil, and then just, like I said, speaking with some of my castmates, I found out. But I wasn't on set about it, and I was like, oh, don't you need another Tracksuit Mafia right there? And unfortunately, but when I did find out, it was like, oh my God, Kingpin's our boss. We're like, what? It could be Kingpin. It was just how everybody else has been excited about it and like anticipating. That's how we were.
So we hope to see Enrique with Kingpin in the future.
I hope. My God, that would be, Danny, I'm telling you right now. And I'm a big person, and I'll say this to your audience, and I'm a big motivational person in the sense of like, everything I'm doing now, I put out and set as a goal, and I would write it down every day. I literally wrote my affirmations. I am on a hit Marvel show before I even auditioned for it, and saying I have a fan. Like I really want people to know how important it is, especially in this new year, to really, say what you want and write it out, not just in your head, but literally write it out and look at it every day and make it a goal. It doesn't have to be this hard thing. It's a fun thing, because everything I'm doing now, I've been able to do. I'm sure everything you set out to do to create this show and this podcast and everything you're doing, you had to write it out. You had to really have a plan for it. And so, with the show and everything in the future, I really hope, and I'm laying it out there, that we could be, because I think there's a lot to tell. I think the fans would love it to really have a little bit more expanded world. I know we'd love to do it. So in Feige we trust, and Kevin Feige we trust. We just he's the man. He's the man. Yeah,
Feige has a plan, and we trust in them.
Exactly. Just be free. Let him take the wheel. Let him maneja un poquito. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And you say that you talked to other actors in the set, and the shooting of the show was during the pandemic with the COVID situation. So did the restriction made it difficult to interact with other actors, or to I don't know, to shoot 13 scenes, or to interact with with characters? Or
good question. It did. It definitely was an obstacle. Like, to say it wasn't would be lying, because it's like part of being on a set is that you're this team. You're this team, and everybody's working together, and it's a dance, and you do know the gaffer, and you do know the lighting guy, and you see their expressions, and they're shooting, and they're like, and when you have a mask, that's gone. And then you start working with people, and of course you can get there good, but like, you don't even know what they really look like, and then all of a sudden you take them out with mask, like, oh wow, you look like a different person. But so in that sense, yes. Now, being an actor on it, we had probably the best part, because we would have to take off our masks to shoot, and it was in the thick of it. I mean, we were in New York at it was empty. It was crazy. And even just fully shooting, there was really no idea that we were going to have like a big premiere like we did. But to get back to the affirmations, that was one thing I tell them, like, no, we're going to do it. We're going to get through this thing. We got to get through this. So there were some obstacles, But ultimately, when you're doing something like this, you know, mask, no mask. I tell you, the COVID test was a real, like, scary pain in the ass a lot of times, because every time you do it, you're like, oh shit, I hope I don't pop, because, you know, and I was being very cautious. Wore my mask everywhere. Never took it off. I'm very big into vaccines, very big into the booster. I'm very big about being careful. But I had to take a COVID test before I left to shoot. And if I would have got a positive, they could have been like, well, we'll find another Enrique, you know, like, who knows, you know? Yeah. Luckily, it didn't work out that way. I just recently got COVID, as we talked before, and that sucked. But I think everybody's getting it right now. Luckily, we're okay because we had the vaccine.
Yeah, so luckily, you play Enrique and everybody play his character.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah. It worked. I kept telling you this, and Danny, I kept telling myself, like, this is not my story. My story in life is not to test positive here and never do this. My story is to do this and crush it and entertain. And so you got to, like, remind yourself, because you'll get in a negative mind place at times, you know, and you'll sit there and really kind of, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, that's not my story. You know, so that's a good practice I try and do.
And you, in the shoot, you could play with Hailey Stanfield, with Jeremy Renner, with Alaqua Cox, who was his first acting debut. How was to work with them? How was the set and to work with them?
It was so cool, man. It was, I mean, it's a Hawkeye. I'm working with Hawkeye, man. Like, you know, several times I'll be like, that's Hawkeye. You know, Jeremy is a nice guy who was worked his ass off, who really was, you know, it was just cool to work with them. And then Hailey is just a superstar, man. Like a genuinely awesome person that I can't wait to see where she takes Hawkeye, you know, like how exciting that'll be. And a real leader too. Like, you know, it's not just a quote unquote talent. Like, she really has her stuff together, and a very, very impressive young lady that I would love my daughter to be just like. I even told her, you know, very, you know, you talk when you're playing these roles and you become friends, and then Alaqua is just an icon, man. I keep saying that, even though this is her first part, but I mean, you watched her, like, to do that in your first role while being deaf, while having some physical limitations, is just unreal. And then to go and perform it and do it at that level is just awesome. And I really hope that we can work together again. And just a really kind, good person too. And then Fra, to mention the four, you know, like kind of, Fra is like a brother to me. You know, he's Irish. That's what people don't know, is when you hear him talk, he has a very sweet Irish voice. And, you know, when he's cozy, he's really serious, man. And he is a super talent. All the people I work with, they're just next level talents. And when I'm standing there and I'm like, oh, you did Broadway. No, you do. I'm like, all right, man. Carlitos from Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just a lot of fun to be on set. And, you know, it's a kid in a candy store, man. I do it all just to get to that and just have fun.
You all guys are an amazing cast. So there was an funny anecdote or story in the set with, I don't know, with the other bros, or with the actors, I don't know, with the fans, you know?
Oh, man. There's plenty of those. I'm trying to think of the ones I should say and the ones I shouldn't say. You know, you spend a lot of time with the people that you work with, and especially in a Marvel project where it's this big beast of a production, and there are times you show up and sometimes you don't shoot because, like, they're like, we're still shooting the volcano blowing up over here, you know, like and it's okay because they know exactly what they need and what they want. So we just had a lot of times, as far as the bros, just screwing around on set, making people laugh, being in character. From our makeup, Ashley, just like literally just, you know, playing pranks. But a crazy story for the fans, I think, would be the fire scene, the Molotov cocktail
Yes.
scene, right? That was in the trailer and all this stuff. Like that was one of the great parts, to see all the tracksuit, all the bro stuff in the trailer and the poster. I was like,
yes,
holy crap, you know. And so that night, it was we shot a lot at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. That was when we were shooting. And so you'd get there at 10, and and so most of the stuff you saw, you're shooting. That's the thing for like a lot of actors. People want to act, they don't know. Like you're not shooting that at like 8 o'clock at night in the middle of this city. No, it's how you do things. And so you got to be up for it. And then sometimes they're like, hey guys, you're going to be there, but you're just going to be in the background, but we need you there. And it's like, hey, whatever, you know, we're here. And when we, so, and I particularly say Alex and Piotr, who played Tomas, and Ivan. And we would just get there and bring our energy. And we always knew, like, let's keep this crazy fun energy. The fans will love it. And then that scene, that one of those scenes, we were just running around, and we'd already shot a bunch of other stuff, but this was just like an over-the-shoulder shot. And then everything was great, and we were improvising and joking around. We didn't even know what were they keeping or not. Hey, shut up! Yo, bro, you got the pizza shop, bro? Yo, get back in there, bro. Get back, you know. And then one of the great producers, the executive producers, Tran, she walks over. She's like, Carlos, come here. I'm like, oh, sure, go over there. And this was, we were all wrapped up. It's like 5 in the morning, right? And she's like, hey, Kevin, just want to say something to you. Look, boom, and there's Kevin Feige right there. And he's like, Carlos, it is. And I'm telling this story. I'm sharing this story with people that I know appreciate this, because as a fan, I was like, are you kidding me? Thank you for everything you've done. He couldn't have been nicer. It was a random moment. The other bros came over. We talked about WandaVision. We talked about, because this was right when WandaVision was coming out. And so people were still like, with Marvel, like, oh, Marvel's doing their own connected universe stuff. So it was like, this was new. You know, now like we're a year in, we're like, of course they know how to do it, you know? But we talked about that, and I just shared how much I love what he's doing. And it was more so, and then he was just very kind to the bros and how much he loved it. And it's just, the reason I would like to tell that story in these situations is like, always bring your best. Always, you never know who's watching. He was watching the whole time. Didn't have a clue. And when sometimes our energy can, and our emotions can make us not perform at our best because we get sad or we get discouraged or whatever. But always like slap that out of us. Because if we would have been like, oh, we're just doing over the shoulder. Okay. And next thing you know, you're not having this great conversation with the Spielberg of our times, you know? So that's my story. Was that good, Danny? Was that good?
Yeah, it was amazing. I didn't expect that. It was amazing. Yeah. Well, and we talked about this before, about seeing more of Tracksuit Mafia, seeing Enrique with Kingpin, and in the season finale we saw a showdown between Maya and Kingpin, and now like the Tracksuit Mafia situation is unclear. We didn't know what happened with them. So are we going to see Tracksuit Mafia in the future, like in the Echo Show or Hawkeye season 2 or something like that?
Man, Danny, I wish I could tell you on 100% positive, yes, but I have no idea. I genuinely don't. I hope so. I feel, like I said, I feel like there's a bunch we could do with it. And you just got to trust those minds over there. They know what they're doing. They've been super kind to the bros, super kind. And we'll see. I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, we all hope so. And also the Tracksuit Mafia is now loved characters from the fans, and a lot of fans are thinking and are imagining that would you like to start with the Tracksuit Mafia in a comedy show, in a sitcom show about, I don't know, the bros hanging out, doing their stuff, doing their jobs? Would you like to play something like that?
Man, Danny, I could see a comedy show with it. I could see a dark sitcom with it. You know, like it could go any way. It's exciting to think about, and I hope that other people. I mean, if you and I are chatting about it, and other people have thought about it, I can only think that maybe some of the Marvel people are like, It's like a pretty good idea, you know? I have no idea, but I'm willing to do. I don't care if they say, no, you guys are pirates now. I'd be like, "Arr, bro, now I'm a pirate." You know, like, is that part of the multiverse? Is that? You know, so
Yeah.
I don't care. Whatever you want to put the bros in. I know the other bros will sign up. I speak for them too. So we'll be down for whatever.
Yeah, I hope so. Marvel is listening on this and putting bros in every project. That's never fruit from Marvel project. And Enrique is one of the most loved bros in the fandom. We all love. He's a charismatic character. You also are so active in social media, so the fandom really like you. And I want to know, good MCU character could you like Enrique to meet? I don't know if a superhero or.
Yes, I've thought about this, and I should remember his name because I just watched it again. AntMan is one of my favorite Marvel movies, and Scott's partner, Michael
Luis.
Pena. Luis, was it?
Luis,
Luis,
yeah.
yes. Luis, I want Enrique to meet Luis and have a conversation and tell a story like he tells a story, you know? And I think that'd be great. I love Michael Pena. I mean, he's just so good. That actual whole movie is one of my favorites just because, I'll be honest, I was like, Ant-Man, the hell Ant-Man? I don't even know. And I was like, oh, it's so good. So, yeah, I think that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be so cool. There are two characters who are so likely. So yeah, it will be awesome.
Yeah, and the world, it fits in the world. You know, I think we're the only Hispanic characters in the MCU.
Yeah, I think yes. And talking about that, about Hispanic characters in the MCU who now in the Phase 4 in the MCU, representation and inclusion is so important. Always has been, but in the Phase 4 they are working a lot of hard on this. How is to be one of the, as you said, one of the first Hispanic actors in the MCU with a character, an important character?
I love it. It makes me very proud. You know, of course, he's a convict. He's a crazy dude trying to shoot people. You know, that's the whole crazy part of this. It's not like he's like a superhero. But what I've been told is that we played the characters well enough that people like us and kind of are like, well, you know, they got to do what they got to do. And so I hope I think I've like represented it as much as I can, and they kind of saw it that way too. Like when I spoke with the writers and I spoke with them, they were like, yeah, we kind of see you. Enrique ran the whole kind of Hispanic division, you know, of the Tracksuit Mafia. And I was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. I really respect and have been to a lot of different countries, not just, I've been to Peru and I've never been to Cuba, unfortunately. I love my people, man. When I say my people, it's just all Hispanic people, all people that speak that different language, that understand the language, that grew up. It's just a different way. And it hasn't been represented, you know? It hasn't been. And I'm glad I can represent it in a crazy, funny way because I think that's kind of who we are. We're like, you know, that's part of our personality, you know? So I'm very proud of it.
And before finish, if you want to send a message of your Spain fans, Latin America fans, if you want to say something now.
I do, yeah. Para toda mi gente, americano, peruano, cubano, te quiere mucho y te mando mucho, and just a lot of thanks. So I'm so grateful, and yo quiero ser parte de esto toda mi vida, and I hope that you guys are as well. I mean, we're living in a world, I think, where Spanglish is going to be very, very, very the next biggest language. Because I'm think about this, I'm a first generation hispano, okay? Yo crecí con mi mamá y papá hablando español conmigo. Era mi primer idioma. Pero mi esposa es blanquita, okay? Y de DeLand, Florida. Y es difícil hablando español todos los días con nadie aquí que sabe español. Con mi hija lo aprendió un poco en escuela y yo lo aprendo un poco, pero yo casi no puedo ser un maestro en inglés. No puedo hacerlo en español también. Pero es algo que yo creo en los próximos años hay muchos que, como yo y los hijos, que no saben español, pero pueden entender español. Entonces ellos van a hablar Spanglish mucho.
Yeah.
Porque es como los italianos en Nueva York ahora, o los de Ireland. Ellos no saben cómo hablar italiano. pero saben que esta parte de la cultura, you know. So that's my this is my first Spanish interview. I feel very I hope you feel proud, Danny. You got it out of me.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's my first interview, so it's been a pleasure
awesome,
and an honor to make this interview with you.
You crushed it, man. You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you. Really, thank you. It means a lot.
Awesome,
and
man.
Yeah, Carlos. So thank you for this interview. Thank you for this opportunity. You're an amazing actor and a person, and an inspiration for Hispanic people who want to be an actor, who want to achieve his goals. And yeah, thank you. I wish you the best and I wish we see Enrique in the future.
Thank you so much, Danny. Thank you for those kind words, and it was a lot of fun to be here. Y para toda mi gente, te quiero, mamá, te quiero.
So thank you. Okay.
See you, man.